should listen to Mia Khalifa talk about her time in porn. She was in porn for like 6 months, and
that's it.
It's marked the whole rest of her life. She can't go anywhere without people talking about some video that they jerked off.
Well, I mean, her situation is a little different. Like, she was basically like whatever. What is she like? She's Middle Eastern. I don't know from which
Lebanese.
part. Yeah, she was a Lebanese Uncle Tom, if you will. She was doing all this porn with her wearing a hijab,
right?
And she's got these big fake tits. So like, she did that to herself. I don't have sympathy for her because she chose to exploit her own culture for financial gain. Like, I don't know if that's as bad as cultural appropriation or like culture vulturing, but like, she did that.
Can we do a little sidebar here?
Sure.
Okay, so now it's bad for people who are of a culture to do whatever the hell they want with it?
No, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't have sympathy for her.
I'm sick of the word culture.
I don't have sympathy for her.
Culture on a pedestal.
I don't.
No, everyone is like, that's my culture. You can't take my culture and do that. Get the fuck over it. Are you your culture or are you you? You got an individual brain in your head and you're living a life. You're not connected to all that shit. It's all made up stuff that old people who have been dead for hundreds of years are putting on you and making you feel like you have to live up to. Do you see me walking around with a big mustache and the chef hat's on and I'm fucking twirling pizza dough everywhere I go? And I don't care if you do. Should I be mad when people deliver pizzas? That's my culture.
Did someone accuse you of culturally appropriating lately? Why are you so up in arms right now?
I'm so against the woke people and the cultural appropriators,
right?
The accusers. Like, now you can't even, anyone who's not pure.
Yeah.
Like, only the professional activists can apparently exploit culture to get you to donate to them.
See, I think that there is a fine line when it comes to appropriating that a lot of people don't understand. Like, if I'm dressing a certain way because I like that style of fashion, that's not appropriating. But if I'm literally stealing from another culture for a financial gain, then yeah, that's appropriating. That's vulturing.
Okay, but like, let me ask you, people get mad, say,
that
when they see people wearing like Chinese or Japanese garb,
like a kimono. I think one example you used before was a kimono.
Or let's say you put on like one of those hats, or you do your makeup like a geisha girl or something, right? And then you take a picture, and then they say you're cultural appropriating. Right. All right, what are you supposed to do? Cut a check to the Japanese government? Would that make the people happy? Where are you supposed to send the money to?
I think what you should do in that situation is you should go on OnlyFans. You should find a Japanese content creator and subscribe to her page, and then it's even. You're even now.
Everyone's just living for donations these days.
You're fucking even. No, but my point in bringing that up was, I don't care what she did because she's Lebanese and that is her culture. But I'm saying I don't have sympathy for her because she rose to prominence because it was kind of taboo. If you was like, oh my God, this woman from Muslim culture where porn is so fucking prohibited and looked down upon is dressed in jihad and getting fucked. Like, this is amazing.
Well, I don't think that...
So, like, she did that to herself. So I can't have sympathy for her because now she feels bad about what she's doing because she can't walk around in public anymore. Like, that's her fault.
The thing is, how many people go into porn and remain relatively anonymous? I don't think she was so well thought out that she knew that the American appetite for women in hijabs and glasses getting banged was going to be so big. So, by the way, one more thing on the appropriation thing.
Yeah.
I keep seeing on Twitter, there's people that are pro Shaun King.
Right.
And there's a lot of people of color who are anti Shaun King.
Right.
Now, who am I supposed to believe? I've read some things about some of his fundraising that I don't like.
Right.
He recently apparently sent out an email like, oh, man, this death of Chadwick Boseman really hit us all hard, didn't it?
Buy my book.
Well, anyway, I got this book coming out that's all about us being together. And do you think he's actually secretly white? Because I've seen that conspiracy too.
Yeah. I know he's at least half white. which to you is still black.
Because he shaves. No, not to me. I didn't make those rules. He shaves that mustache.
Well, no,
down.
you defended Kamala because she identifies as black when she's only half. So the same thing for Shaun, right? Would be applied.
If
by
he
that
says he's black, I'll take him at his word.
Okay, he's at least half white. For some reason, you can't find pictures of his parents anywhere.
I've seen pictures of his parents.
Really?
And I've seen pictures of his brother.
And they're white.
You should see this guy.
Let
me see if I can find this.
I saw what was supposed to be his birth certificate, and the ethnicity of both of his parents is listed as white. But there's a lot of different.
Well, what I want to know is, like, am I supposed to believe him?
I don't know. I mean, anytime his ethics are.
That's his brother.
Isn't he adopted or something? Shaun?
That looks a lot like him.
It does.
If
And
you
look at his
the
eyes. Yeah, for sure. 100%. I mean, he's got like.
I mean, look, they look very similar.
Well, he won't grow a full beard. Like
he won't grow a full mustache.
He keeps that like creeper goatee.
And if you look closely at his mustache,
it's straight.
It's shaved. He has hair on the upper part, the so-called Hitler part of the mustache. He has hair follicles there. But he shaves it down, so it's just a little pencil line.
Yeah.
Like he's fucking, the Addams Family dude.
What's that guy's name? I don't remember. But one thing that is interesting, and I always find it fascinating, when the question of his ethics around money comes up, he always takes the most defensive stance.
Yeah.
And traditionally, when someone gets that defensive, they're usually wrong. They're usually guilty.
Daily Beast had a great article about him.
So
expose, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I have mixed feelings about the guy.
Mixed?
Hey, you see what I did there? See what I did there? No, I mean, he's raising a lot of awareness around issues involving and about black people, which is fantastic. He's got a huge following, a lot of which are people that aren't of color. So in that regard, I think he's doing great. But yeah, a lot of his communications are a bit skeptical. Like Chadwick died and he's asking me to buy a book.
Or the time that he raised money so he could climb a mountain.
Yeah.
And then he gave up after 2 days.
Right. Things like that. And he'll argue like, oh, I don't make money off my book. I don't make any money off of the donations you guys send. It's like, dude, come on. We're not idiots.
Right.
We know how these nonprofits, these charities work. Someone's eating off that shit.
Exactly.
But on the other hand, he is doing a great job in raising awareness around these social injustices.
So if someone's a supporter, if they're actually doing good work, even if their methods aren't exactly clean from an ethical standpoint, does that make it excusable? Okay.
I mean, this kind of ties into the whole Bella Thorne thing,
Well, actually, I wanted to
same but different.
I wanted to tie it into this woman who came out today, a professor,
Rachel Dolezal
at George Washington University.
I saw that.
Yeah, Jessica Krug.
Yeah.
She revealed in a bombshell Medium post, so maybe it was just her opinion, according to you, that she's lied about being black her entire career. Right. This is her, by the way. You see her?
Yeah, I've seen it.
What would you, if you didn't know that she was lying?
She's fucking white.
You still think she's white?
From Florida, probably.
She's an African-American history associate professor at George Washington University.
Also, don't call her African-American when she just said she's not.
African-American history associate professor.
Don't call her African-American.
That's her title. She said in the blog that she's white, Jewish, and was raised in Kansas City.
Yeah. Not surprised.
Now, hold on. If she was out there educating people about African-American history, is it okay? Obviously, it's not. It doesn't give you a good feeling inside to know someone was lying about being black all these years, but
right.
Were the good deeds that she did, and I'll say that before knowing too much about her, something could always come out, but just based on my initial reading, is it okay? And is it okay if Shaun King turns out to be a regular Jessica Krug?
No. Not at all. Not at all.
Why not?
It's appropriation. It's culture vulturing. Like they're using another culture to gain something, right?
Right.
Like whether it's, I'm a white person posing as a black person to be a rapper or whatever the case may be. In their cases, they're, a professor and a writer / activist. No, like why just be yourself. What do you think? You're not going to be able to do these things as a white person? Like you don't see, I can't say that.
No, go ahead.
You don't see as many black people pretending to be white to gain fame and money and notoriety. I mean, you got Michael Jackson. He was already famous. He just had mental issues. Sammy Sosa.
Got bored.
But yeah, I mean, you don't see it. So there's this weird obsession with people wanting to be black.
Right.
And I don't know why. It's like a fetish.
Is it possible that she...
why did you used to want to be black? Why did you want to be black?
First of all, is it possible that she actually is Rachel Dolezal? She just got exposed again.
It could be. She's like, God damn it, I got to change my name, dye my hair, and move to somewhere else. But no, there's a healthy obsession with the black culture as a whole. And some people take it to these extremes where they pretend that and they think and they believe, they truly believe that they're a black person.
It's very influential. I think part of the allure for white people is that it appears, and this is somewhat ironic given the history of this country,
right?
The culture, the music, etc., all appears very free in a way that white people aren't. Because white people, a lot of them are very uptight. You see them try to dance or something.
Yeah.
They look all awkward.
You mean free as in careless? Carefree?
No. Not carefree, but just
relaxed.
In your, comfortable in your own skin.
You're comfortable.
Living,
yeah.
Doing your thing, experimenting with different styles and fashions and music and all that kind of stuff, right?
It's funny enough that all of that stuff came from not being free.
And that's what I said.
Music and food and dancing and all of that stuff came from slavery.
It's the irony, and that white people are kind of watching in a jealous way. They're all uptight and they feel like they gotta follow these white rules and they gotta act a certain way. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so it has a certain seduction.
Do we know more about this woman? Has she done anything else aside from an African American studies professor?
Well, first of all, she claimed...
what does her driver's license say? Does it say black on it?
Well, first it says that she's claimed various different identities under various assumed identities within a blackness that I had no right to claim. First, North African blackness. Then U.S.-rooted blackness, then Caribbean-rooted Bronx blackness.
So this woman is just a fucking psychopath. That's what I'm hearing. This bitch is crazy.
And she's her neighbor in the Bronx told the DailyMail.com that Krug would call her white trash and tell her neighbor that she was gentrifying the neighborhood by going running. Meanwhile, she was a white Jewish person from Kansas this whole time. This was white on white crime.
Oh, man. I love it. You love to see it.
But the thing that I wonder is, why in the fuck would you ever admit this?
Right.
Unfortunately, we don't live in a culture where you're rewarded for admitting your faults. There are no apologies anymore. Your life is ruined.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry to say, but from just a shrewd standpoint, don't tell anyone.
Do you think that she was caught and blackmailed? You fucking tell these people that you're not black or I'm gonna fucking kill you or whatever the case may be. There's got to be something that caused her to just one day wake up and say, you know what? I need to stop this charade.
That's what I'm trying to find out here. But a lot of people are upset with her. A lot of people believed her and trusted her, and She's written several books and essays on blackness and black culture.
Oh my God.
Well, like, but what if the ideas are still true? Like, can you still espouse them?
I feel like why not do that as a white person? Like in your own community, you would have much more of an effect if you're really trying to change like people's perception and like thoughts on another culture.
But Mo, let's be honest. If a white person comes in trying to tell you
another white person, I said in her community, not my community,
about blackness and black. Okay,
your community.
All right, but even if a white person telling other white people about blackness and black culture also isn't going to be well received, because there will be people in the black community saying, "Well, who the fuck is she? What does she know to tell even other white people about the black experience?"
It's called being an ally.
So
white people can be allies. You can be an ally. Are you an ally?
I can be an ally.
So you're not an ally, but you could be.
For the right price. No, I can be an ally, but is it really an ally if I'm going and telling other white people, hey, this is what it's like to be black?
No, I think it's more of just it should come from the mindset of educating. You know, this is something you may not know about these people. Let me tell you, not like
what do you
my
mean,
experience.
These people.
In my experience as a black woman, no, like it should never like I'm sure she's had conversations like that too, where she's like, where they're like, well, what do you think? You're a black woman. She might be in a room of white people. Like, well, what do you think as a black woman? And she's just like, well, let me tell you.
She's like, I think you're a gentrifying piece of shit.
But
stop running in this neighborhood.
Yeah, the whole thing is like it's some weird mental shit, dude. Like that's what it really comes down to. Like she's got some fucking mental issues.
Look, it could be this. It was a way to make money. No one wanted to hear about white Jewish people in Kansas City. She thought, well, I like hip hop. I'll just be black.
What did she do?
She was a professor. She wrote. I mean, look, she earned a living.
Yeah.
I just don't. I'm trying to find out in the article why you would ever admit this.
That's the thing. Yeah. Like, if she got caught and it was, someone threatened to expose her in a negative light and, she had the chance to tell on herself, that would make sense.
Oh, her activist pseudonym was Jessica La Bambalera.
Oh, my God.
Bambalera. All these white New Yorkers who waited 4 hours with us to be able to speak and then did not yield their time for black and brown indigenous New Yorkers. Are black and brown people indigenous to New York?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That's where like a lot of the slaves went when they fled the South. Virginia, New York, Pennsylvania.
But that doesn't make them indigenous because there were already New Yorkers there.
Well, there were like the native people there.
People throw around that word indigenous a little too much. I don't think
White people came in and ruined New York, stole what is now Central Park from a group of Africans, and made them flee to what is Brooklyn and the not so attractive boroughs.
I'm just saying indigenous is for like the Native Americans,
right? Who are technically in this equation brown.
I don't know that.
You're trying to take something again. Put your privilege away, man. I thought you left that shit at the door. Get out of my house.